Yeah, I think let's just get started. I mean, it's one after. So welcome everybody to the weekly DG community meetup. Today's special guest is Alex with Boys Noize, and I'll give him a moment to introduce himself and give his background. So today we're going to be talking to Boys Noize and just about musicians entering the space and the metaverse and just get the perspective from a cutting edge musician who's in it, and building a decentral land and bringing the music to the metaverse. So super exciting, and really excited to introduce Alex from Boys Noize.
What's up, everyone? My name's Alex. I'm, better known as Boys Noize. I'm a DJ producer from Germany, Berlin, and I've been DJing for half of my life, mostly, electronic music, house, techno, and I started my own label shortly after. I started producing as well. Been releasing all my music ever since. Basically independent on my own label, and released a couple albums, couple projects with friends of mine. Some of you might know my project with my homie Skrillex as Dog Blood. Um, some of you might know some of the productions I've done in the past. Done over the I've, over the years. I started to produce for other people too, like some rap people. A couple songs with ASAP Rocky and Frank Ocean and some other stuff like Tommy Cash and stuff. But yeah, I've been interested in the whole crypto space since I guess like 2016, and
It's
now
amazing.
now we're here.
That is awesome. So, what first attracted you? What was your crypto journey?
I guess it was well, first of all, I was living with a friend of mine. Might know him, called a Little Internet. He's uh he's kind of a cyberpunk, and in 2014, 15, he was living with me at my space in Berlin, and he was around the dark web and trying to get some stuff over there. So he was dealing with bitcoins and stuff, and he was the first person to basically tell me about that space and everything. But since he was like really crazy at that point, I didn't dig deeper.
Right.
And I was also touring and all that stuff. But then there comes 2017, and I just hear more and more about Ethereum and obviously Bitcoin. But when I heard like Imogen Heap, I think that was really catching my attention. I think Imogen Heap, they released an album and you were able to pay in Ethereum with it, and I was like,
Oh, cool.
what's going on here? And I think the same with Rack, Andre, who became a really good friend of mine, and we actually been building something together as well. Um, and he's done the same. He's released an album, and you could buy it with Ethereum, and that got me really interested because releasing music as an independent artist is, it can be quite challenging. I mean, we all do this for the love of music, but when it comes down to basically making money with music, that's like the last thing that will happen. It's usually the opposite. You invest in yourself and stuff, and then you make money with the shows. I certainly can't complain because I've been, playing shows for a long time, and that's my life. But I always look for new ways of releasing music, and I have the freedom to do this because I release my music on my own label, so no one can tell me like, oh, you can't release this song, or you can't release like that song, or what are you doing? So I've been always looking for new things, and so 2017 was the year when I got really deep in it, and explored also the world of the altcoins and all that stuff. And then obviously things kind of went crazy towards the end of that year, and I went through all of that as well, the ups and downs and getting hacked and then 2018 was kind of a depressive time in that space, but so many things were building and I kept keeping an eye on everything and then there comes, things like all this like early this like DeFi stuff, like all the
Right.
maker DAOs and the compounds. And then I was like, oh shit, this is actually really cool. I don't need to like leave all my money at the bank. And so that was a whole different aspect of it, which I found interesting just outside of everything else. But yeah, I was just curious about where it's going with art and music in general because I've certainly not been happy with the way it is of releasing music. Releasing music is my least favorite part of the whole process. Making music is the best, creating is the best. Releasing music is always a downer somehow because it's like we're so forced by these certain ways it has to be. And now again, overall I don't want to complain at all, but it's just not so much fun being a label or being an artist and trying to plug your music for the 5 important playlists on Spotify. It's just like
Right.
when I started making music, it came out on vinyl only. I worked in a record store for many years, so I've been deep in this like house and techno culture and releasing vinyl. And when I started, I just pressed my music on vinyl and I didn't have to do anything, no marketing, no promotion, no playlists, just DJs discovering the music and playing it in the club if they like it. And I love that. And whenever it started with like, okay, promoting, I'm like, okay, I'll do stuff like that. But now with Spotify, it's just not so motivating to actually release the music. So I've been looking for new ways for a while, and that's and when all the NFT possibilities came up last summer, I saw those first memes and stuff, and so I started to create a new project, and I didn't really tell my fans and my community about it because I thought it was more an experimental thing, and then I called it Punks, PVNX, with a longtime collaborator and visual artist called Susboy. And we released some NFTs on Super Rare, like just when they started. And I loved
That's
that because
awesome.
it was like, yeah, we were just like, it was like late summer last year, and it was so, fresh, and this whole approach and a whole new community. So that was basically my experimental kind of playground. And then yeah, I started to also release my first Boys Noize NFT later that year. Collaborations with visual artists or fine artists right now, and yeah, I'm pretty deep in it.
That's awesome. So, do you have pieces on Rarible as well?
I never put up something directly on Rarible, so there's only a few on Super Rare, and I know they're exclusive there.
Okay. Yeah,
And
I thought they were on there.
yes, but because of that, I'm exploring all the other platforms as well. I haven't done a local, like a Rare bill up minting there yet.
Okay. So you've been nominated for 3 Grammys. That's pretty amazing. What projects and songs were those for?
So the first one was co-writing and co-production on this incredible electronic artist called Jean-Michel uh, uh, Jean-Michel Jarre. He's like a 70s, 80s kind of ambient sci-fi. He's done a few soundtracks as well. He's actually a legend in electronic music that was, starting to come up in the 70s more and more. He's from France and he's an iconic electronic producer. And one time he asked me, he wanted to make this new album with like, some new producers from the kind of like new generation. And so I was part of that album and he got nominated by the Grammys.
That's
And
amazing.
then the second was a song I made with Skrillex. He's my one of my best friends. We've been making music for a long time. And we made a song called Midnight Hour. That one got nominated. And
Nice.
then the most bizarre one, I guess, is the Lady Gaga one, which I kind of win a Grammy, but they we wrote this song, Rain on Me. We wrote it from scratch together. I was with her in the studio and we wrote a bunch of songs, and that one got nominated as best performance or I don't know, some weird stuff. And
That's still pretty cool.
um I indirectly, yeah, so that's how they came about.
It still counts. It's awesome.
I guess. Yes, still quite bizarre if you think about it where I'm coming from.
Yeah,
But
I
yeah, I'm
think that's
happy.
amazing though. It's like it's really interesting all the different types of folks that the space attracts, and you're weathered. A lot of people are just getting in now, and you've been around, so it's really cool to kind of hear from your perspective.
Yeah, it's just, as I said, like I've been looking for new ways and uh w- new ways to release music and to present music. I'm so tired of, this non it's so hard to connect emotionally, I think, with a song sitting on, an app. I've been a music lover, like many of you, and even though the physical element, let's say, of a vinyl record, that, I'm emotionally attached with a moment, or, I remember the moments when I bought it or when I
Oh yeah.
played it and it brings back memories, like that whole disappeared in let's say a form of a playlist on Spotify. And I don't want to hate on, don't get me wrong, I'm not gonna hate on Spotify here. It's just my personal relationship with, music itself and
Mm-hmm.
the form, like that form of art and expression. And so I think, the NFT and the metaverse just adds something exciting and new, like a new form to it. And yeah, so I'm here for it.
It's amazing. So you're currently getting into Decentraland, right?
That's
Planning
right.
some.
Yeah, I've been exactly. So I have a new single that I'm releasing next week or the week after, and we're doing a party on Decentraland, Decentral Games.
Oh yeah.
Uh, I'll do a DJ set, and we have some cool stuff planned, as well. More on that later. Yeah, that's happening later this month.
That's amazing. I'm super excited to see the new build and the release party. So that's going to be on the 23rd.
I think so, yes.
Yeah.
So it's a new track of mine with um Tommy Cash. He's guess you could call him a rapper, but I wouldn't. You should definitely, if you don't know Tommy Cash, you should check him out. He's from Tallinn, Estonia, and I've worked on his album that we released before. It's yeah, it's wild stuff. It's wild stuff. You should definitely check his Instagram right now. Uh, he's sick. Yeah, we got a track together called Nude. It's kind of like a pretty ravey track. I've been playing it here and there on my digital festivals, but I just played my first gig in a while, and I played this. So it's like a good warehouse festival banger, basically.
Hell yeah.
And we're gonna do the release party in the metaverse with
Woo!
all of you.
Hell yeah, that's going to be exciting. You guys make sure you make it out the 23rd. and we you'll hear about it. We'll make sure to hype it up too. But it looks like we do have a request to speak. Ready to answer some
Hell yeah.
questions? All right, awesome.
You gonna bring him in?
Yeah, Andre Harry, I gave you an invite to speak.
I just have one question.
Sure.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Sorry, I just have one question. Will there be new stuff with Chili Gonzalez released soon?
Oh, good question. Yes. We've made a few new songs. We also have this project called Octave Minds. Chili Gonzalez is a pianist. He's more known in the classic world, I'd say. But yeah, we have new songs. We were planning to release this. He just released a new song, and I just released a few new singles. So we're waiting. I think he's got an album. I've got a body of work coming too. So it's more about the timing at this point where we were like, okay, we don't want to like put too much, distraction off of our own stuff. But yeah, we have new stuff. We have a lot of new music.
Great, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Love it. Anybody
Anybody
else?
else?
While
But stage is yours.
let me check the voice chat. No,
I
it's good.
saw some questions over here. Someone's asking Ethereum or Bitcoin. I don't know. That's a question sheet. I guess. I mean, the answer about Ethereum or Bitcoin is quite easy, I guess. Like, you could just build way. It's just way build on Ethereum. But I guess, I mean, time will tell. I'm definitely excited by that platform. I guess Bitcoin's more like a store of value, people would say. Um,
Yeah, I feel like they
and
have totally different use cases.
yeah, it's really you can't really to me it's like it's you can't really put them next to each other because Ethereum's always, gonna have way more use cases. But obviously there are so many interesting other blockchains coming, and I guess at some point we're gonna live in this more interoperable world too, where different chains talk to each other seamlessly, and that's gonna be the interesting part when I guess it really comes down to the wallets in the end, like being able to connect to all the chains without knowing about it. That's I guess that's gonna make the big difference at some point. But yeah, I mean, Ethereum over Bitcoin, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. So actually, kind of thinking about knowing, so your fans, right? So most of them probably don't know the space very well. Has that been a
Mhm.
big hurdle with attracting them to the crypto space?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I haven't really aggressively tried. But at the same time, I'm also not, I haven't been that vocal about it either on my social media because it's like, I can talk about, I had this thread like a month ago where I went on and trying to get the angle more about, Web3 and the technology and then drawing it towards my way of releasing music and being independent and doing something sort of like against the system and stuff like
Right.
this. So that works really well. But it's I think the major challenge for crypto overall is like because it's so tied with the financial system and the idea of this peer-to-peer whatever payments and all the banking replacing the banks and all of that. That's amazing. but I'm not here as an artist going on Twitter raving about that, so
Right.
I'm trying to find the right angles to, and all of that is amazing, but I'm trying to find the right angles to get that, and I guess the metaverse really plays well into that just as much as the use case of NFTs. And so over, slowly, like just like events like this and the one we're gonna do for the release party will make it. Oh shit, you know who's calling me right now? Actually, Skrillex. 1 second, let me take this call. I think he's down the stairs. I have to let him.
Yeah, no worries.
He's actually with alone right now. So I think 1 second. Yo, yeah, are you outside? Hold on, I'll let you in. Okay. Yeah, you're live. You're live right now. Hold on. Let me grab you. Guys, 10 seconds.
No worries.
Yo, I'm still up. Hello.
Sorry, guys. I don't know if anybody cares. It's sunny, and I'm hanging out with Alex. And I'm gonna let you do your thing now.
What's
You
good?
guys talk about crypto.
We're talking about the metaverse and yeah, man.
Wow.
Yep. Yep.
I'm gonna like listen and be here, so you guys do your thing.
Yeah, see, like it's got to come from an organic. I think like that's the key is like, I'm not, as I said, like I'm trying to like slowly get everybody involved because it's still, it's still so early. Everything's
Yeah.
so fresh, and it's people. I think people have to get their head first around like, because when we talk about crypto, everybody at first gets it as a financial, again,
Right.
this
I
like,
think Bitcoin, if they know at all.
yeah, and so it's like, yeah, but I haven't understand like blockchain, whatever. But when you talk more about Web3 and this extra layer on top of the internet, and what we talked about, like for instance, for years, there's been discussions about owning your data and all of that. So once you start talking about that, where you actually have control over all of your data, and all of this shit that like Facebook collects all
Yeah.
this and sells it and all that. So that's like a first kind of approach, and then NFT has been really helpful as well, where it's like, okay, you have this like container of data. It could be anything, and it has a signature, and you have this.
There's so much utility to it. I'm just chiming in. Like I don't even know where you guys are in the conversation other than that, but it's like I think like you have this like almost like the internet itself. It's a massive utility for endless things. So at some point, like the utility's there, and it's going to be about creative people and people who are like really forward thinking, and they're going to find ways for whatever they're trying to do to like utilize the utility of it. It's a new platform, and it's so spherical and 360 degrees. There's so many
Yeah.
ways you can really look at it, and yeah, it's about like ideas like you guys probably in the chat, like creative people like yourselves, like things you're just trying to do and accomplish. It's as the platform like builds itself, the more the applications will come out of, like you said, you guys and people like us
Yeah, exactly.
solving
And
problems,
I think
know?
I think we're definitely in the metaverse, and all this like ideas about having everything kind of like being tokenized and living in the metaverse. I think that's where we're essentially heading as well. It is there is a major challenge again, this making people understand that it's more than just this like really helpful financial kind of thing, and it's more
Right.
about
That
the
it's useful
the
for them, basically.
yeah, exactly,
It's like
exactly.
it's not just this like magic technology everyone else is using. I
Exactly.
really like the approach, almost like if you build it, they will come.
Mhm.
Put your place up in the metaverse, start having events, just hyping it up, and
And that's
slowly
what
people check it out.
exactly, and that's what I love as an artist, is to also like challenge the people that follow me, and they're like, what is he doing? Like what is
Yeah.
what is this? What is like? and then they have to do their own research, you know, and that's the best part about it, I think, because then it's like, oh wow, I saw this, I didn't understand it, but I dig deep, and now like I'm in this like in this wormhole of new information and new things I'm learning, because that's the same process I went through, you know.
Right.
It's just like doing your own research and learning about everything and learning about each of the projects and how it's all connected with each other, and that opens your mind, and that can be so inspiring, and it is certainly inspiring for me as an artist to, you know, get down.
Yeah, I feel like it also gives you a lot more control over, you know, all of your art, your music, your, you know, the financials, the property rights. Um,
Yeah.
it's just so. I mean, in that, it kind of allows musicians to be, you know, their own labels. Even, do you think there's going to be like a lot of pushback from major labels and corporations trying to fight this movement?
Oh yeah, I mean, well, I don't think they can fight it, to be honest. It's inevitable. We they have to just adopt and find ways to, you know, get into it, because yeah, it's unstoppable, to be honest with you, because, you know, we've just seen it with digital artists, and it was a great example where, you know, artists that make yeah, you know, obviously we've talked about this, and you've been probably on a million clubhouse channels and all that I don't have to tell you guys what NFTs are worth it and how great it's been for digital artists and giving power to those guys. And so, you know, when it comes to music, that's gonna be a little more trickier, because, you know, I've also seen in the text chat here, someone was asking about, you know, royalties and publishing, and there comes the label. You know, a label is never gonna really go away, because they have money to promote your music. You know, they can put up billboards in, you know, on the Times Square if they
Right.
want. And if you make music that is for a lot of people, a label is like a bank at that point. You know, you know, the trend definitely goes away from the big labels, but there will always be someone like Justin Bieber that is just, you know, so talented and so attractive, and has this whole package of being like this superstar person.
Right.
You know, for those people and those artists that come every year, you know, a major label can be quite helpful, but, you know, they are essentially just a bank. They give you money up front, they spend it on marketing and promotion, and then they want it back, you know, and that's always the tricky part. Like, how do they get it back? Well, they only get it back when you sell your music, and when you have those streams, and you know, major labels also take money from your live shows and stuff. So that's like that might be soon even more like an old way for a major company like that, you know. So I think that's gonna be something where they'd be like, okay, well, now you can maybe fund your project through, you know, whatever, you know, I mean, that's been going as well. Or like, now that takes me to like all the what's it called, the not Gitcoin, GitHub. No, GitHub is the coding site. The, you know, where you can fund those new projects and stuff like this. Yeah.
Sorry, guys, I'm so sorry, guys. From downstairs.
Yeah.
Do you have like a key or anything?
Yes. So this one, you put it in, and then it beeps, and then it's a little tricky, but
It's in the
you'll
front.
work it out. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, cool.
But I can go out in the bathroom.
You don't need a mask outside, but
Okay,
if you
cool.
go in a building, yeah,
Okay. So here's
take it with you anyways.
masks and Mark.
Seriously.
Yeah, now I forgot where we're at, but yeah, I guess like coming back to your question, it's, you know, we're heading there. I think we are definitely trying to figure out how to do the royalty thing. But what I love is seeing, you know, like a friend of mine, there's two friends of mine that released their music as NFTs. I've done that too on Catalog. There's a song you can get on Catalog that is exclusive on Catalog, and it's kind of like a fork of Zora, Open Zora,
Yeah.
but
yeah.
they've done it for music only, and I love that. I mean, there's like 5 people on it, but it's amazing because the idea behind it is incredible, and the artists that mints their music can determine of same thing like with the minting an NFT in general is like you'll say how much royalties you get from people, and so starting to understand that or question about even with music is like what's the value, like what's the value of music in, like like is it really a 0.00001 cent of a stream, or like are we wrong here, like I don't know, it's just so that's interesting. But the publishing side, because there's two sides, right? So you have the royalty where it's like that's where the label comes in. The label basically releases your music, they have to pay people for it, and it's sort of like they kind of own your rights of the music for a certain degree of time. Let's say I sign a track of you, I sign it for 5 years, and those 5 years, that contract lets me sell your music or put it on these streaming platforms, and we
Right.
get the money, and then you get your percentage, right? So me as a label, when I sign someone, I say you get 50, we make 50-50, because we got the platform, we put it out, we do all the work, whatever, we produce vinyl and do everything, and we do 50-50. That's a sick deal. That's something you don't find though.
Right.
Like most major labels, they give you like 10%, or like 15% max, and then they deduct all the costs, and basically you never see money releasing, which we've kind of got like that. That's a condition, like why does it have to be that way? Like
Right.
now we're like questioning that system, because it's like we've been conditioned to think this is what we get. Like, oh, this is Mikael, what's up?
Zora in the building.
I was just talking about Catalog and Open Zora. So
Yes,
we got
Zora in the
Mikael in the
building.
house. He's also with Catalog.
Zora.
Nice.
Zora,
The
actually. Sorry.
protocol catalog's built on.
Yeah, we're growing here.
Nice.
So I think that's the interesting part, is like questioning really like this condition where artists been, I mean, basically since all these big labels, like even in the 60s already, they were like giving artists the wackest deals. But we start to think like that's how it is. That's the reality. We're like conditioned that way.
Sure.
So like
It's more apparent than ever how just messed up the music industry is. Like,
Yeah.
how rich like record labels are, and how many amazing creators that have like records that have things you've heard that like have streams that are not making any money.
Yeah, so it's really about that, like questioning that, and
Yeah.
kind of like creating this new system where it empowers the creator. So that's the real deal. But again, we're facing a lot of adoption challenges. That's gonna be I think the key,
Huge hurdle. Yeah.
yeah, for the next coming years. And I think having these, like, again, like Decentral Games, Decentral Land, like a metaverse and NFT, like that's something to digest, I think, for like someone that has no idea what it is. And again, coming back to crypto and all that kind of like financial aspect, I think that's an easier way to like understanding that it's more about, again, this like Web3 idea, and the power you have, and this like direct control about your data, whatever it might be, music or actual data.
Personal information.
Yeah.
All that.
Yeah.
Yeah. We have a question. I'm gonna let Peanut Butter jump on stage and ask his question.
That's
Hey, what's up? How's it going? Yeah, I just had a question real quick.
How you doing?
Hey, doing good, doing good. So just like as an established artist, I was curious, how do you see shows in the metaverse playing a role in your career? Do you see how they could be beneficial? If so, in what aspects? And what do you see shows in the metaverse looking like in, say, 5 years?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think well, let me put it this way. I think there's no way that the real, IRL kind of moments will go away, or will be less interesting for anybody. But we are living in a world where it is so easy to be connected, and let's say I can play a show and I can be in Berlin and someone from Tokyo can be there, and that's it basically. Like, that's amazing. So I think it just adds this new layer of interactive, thing. And what is really interesting is like how you emotionally even connect in the metaverse, because it's been, when you go to a club, you have the physical element, right? You see, you're like, the person, the people are around you, the music's whatever is coming through these big speakers, and so you have a big physical element. And but it is interesting how our brain works, and how much of that emotion you can actually create when you're in the metaverse. Like, I've had that experience. I've done that. There's this one festival I played couple months ago for my friend Porter Robbins, and he put up like a very basic kind of form of a metaverse himself, the Secret Sky Festival, some of you might know. And I love that, like, you run around there and you meet people, and um so I think it's gonna become a very essential part of performance. And with technology evolving, it's gonna get just better and better and more smoother, because obviously if it's on a kind of like a web3 layer, there are certainly a lot of issues still. But you see it already in Decentral Games and Decentral Land, how cool it is, like, to be there and interact. And for me as a musician, it's just a new thing to get excited about and to embrace. And I think we're in this really cool phase where you can really say it is an experiment at this point. But for me personally, it's inevitable that it will just become a standard for a lot of artists to have this kind of like, digital, performance just as much as the physical ones. I mean, who knows, like what's going down with the world in the next years too. So I'm just really excited about this, because it is something fresh. That's all I'm caring about too.
Awesome.
I hope I answered your question.
Yeah, definitely. What are your thoughts and feelings on like creating NFTs and wearables and stuff like that, if you were to do events in the metaverse? So same thing, like going to buy merch at like an actual show you go to, having like an NFT version of it where you could wear in game. That still kind of ties that personal aspect, that what's the word I'm looking for, that feeling that you look back at it and you have something tied to it. Do you see what are your thoughts on that, and how do you see that being part of how this could develop? And like a t-shirt, I've had t-shirts that I've destroyed from events or lost or whatever, but an NFT is always minted in my wallet. How do you think that'll play a role?
That is a good call. Like, how do I mess up your wearable? Like, that could be the next, that could be another really cool approach about how can you like old sneakers from a festival.
Degrading wearables.
yeah, that's a cool idea, man. But yeah, I think and I'm sure you've heard these talks about like tokenizing and all that stuff too. But I think once we all have this like very consumer friendly wallet where you have your collectibles, and you have I've been a collector on so many levels, like when it comes to art, I really care about the tiniest element. So I'm creating an album cover, and I'm working with a fine artist right now that maybe you know him. His name's Eric Timothy Carlson, and we've become friends. He's the only music artist he worked with has been Bon Iver. It's this kind of folk band from Minneapolis. Um, but the art he's done for Bon Iver has been mind blowing to me, and we've met a few times on those events. For some reasons, I end up playing these folk festivals as the only DJ, and became friends with some of those guys. And so I became a fan of his work, and I went to like the galleries, and like, you know, sometimes he has like a small thing like, you know, uh Greenpoint, New York or somewhere, I don't know. Anyway, so, you know, I when it comes to representing the music in form of something visual or physical, for me it's really important to find this, you know, this one idea and or concept, and it kind of is representative. It's really hard with a visual thing, let's say music video. I had the worst music videos where I think it kind of even downgrades the music. It's so hard for musicians when it comes to think, you know, especially when you're independent, you like low budgeting your videos. Anyways, coming to the variables, same thing, man. Like when I would create a variable or like an NFT, it's really important to me that every detail of it is sick as fuck. So, you know, I take more time and I do less, but the ones that I'm gonna put up on Decentral Games for the event, the 2-3 things are sick. Like that's the things that I've been working on with Eric, and we've been, you know, going into the art, you know, the whole concept about my next body of work, and the single, and you know what my whole idea about, you know, the music that I do and where I stand and all that stuff, and my past and my future, and all of that comes together, man. To me, I take it very not serious, but like it's important to yeah, to not being random there either. Like
Priority.
yeah.
Awesome. Actually, looks like we have another question. Like Zen, I'm gonna let you join
Let's
us.
go.
Hey, what's going on? I'm Zen.
How you doing?
Man, I'm in good spirits. I just had like a couple quick questions for you. So like
Sure.
as a creator, like I make a lot of different genres. Like I make my songs from beginning to end. And I'm into crypto, I'm into mining and whatnot, but I want to be able to release a lot of music. And I just kind of wanted your insight as to how you think it would be best for me to go about it as somebody who makes like I mix like Japanese music, English stuff, like you know,
Yeah.
I'll go from like metal to like reggaeton mixed with baile funk. Like I go all over the place. So
Sick.
what do you think would be the best way to roll that out? Like if I'm making like 100, 200 songs in a year, like because the
Yeah.
minting process can be expensive and
Yeah.
everything. So yeah.
Yeah, I don't think like you look, well, first of all, there's a few things I want to touch base on like, you know, you making hundreds of songs and tracks and all that, and you know, going everywhere. Perfect, great. I'm the same. I have like a hard drive of like 500 techno tracks that I never put out. I try
Mm,
to find the ones that really kind of like nail it. And
mm,
you know it yourself, when you make music, on one day your track's okay, on the next day it's bad, on the next day you make something special. You know, like it really it's more about making it and then figure out afterwards what really emotionally connects with you. So
yeah.
you're good on that. Um, Now when it comes to releasing music and you know, quantity versus quality and all of that, I think only you can decide on that. Like if you think you want to put out, you know, 10 songs, that's cool. If you think you want to only when you put out everything, that's cool too. But it's important to also, you know, build sort of your thing and kind of create your own world, and it takes time. It's like it's it's like when you, I mean, you're at a good point because you've created so much. So now I think the one idea could be to just constantly put out stuff. And you know, like on the first two releases, there might only be like 50 people liking it. On the next one, there's like 65. On the next one, there's 70. because like when people discover music and look out for stuff, you know, when they like something, they will play it to their friends. They will, you know, so it has this like kind of organic way, that something that you can't really control. But and then you can think about, okay, do I do it myself? You know, there's so many ways of doing it. I wouldn't say that creating it or doing it right away, you know, on blockchain is, you know, the way. I think you should include it, but I also think you should do it in the ways we know. You know, I mean, there is a cool platform called Audios as well, you know, so they're kind of, they're built on Solana, so it's like you don't have to pay anything to mint it.
Yeah, I do it
really-
on there too. Like, I meant
Yeah.
more like in the sense of like specifically for crypto, because so far for the year, I put out 2 EPs. I have another 2 EPs that I'm gonna roll out, and I have singles.
Yeah.
Like I put out a bit of music, and I'm doing that method of building my catalog, but I want to incorporate more Web 3.0 and crypto. So I meant more in that aspect, opposed to like generally speaking.
Yeah. It's a good question because it's something I'm trying to figure out too. So I've tested the stuff on Catalog, I've tested Audios. It's just about trying out and you know, because you know, I mean, Catalog is like how old is like 1 month, 2 months old, you know, like
How do you spell that one? Because I know about audio, so I don't know about that first one. Catalog.
yeah, so CATA, like catalog, like the catalog.
Like a
Oh,
catalog.
like a catalog, but lock. I got you.
Yeah, so they're like based, they're like I think they're still in beta mode, but I think you can get in touch with them and they're really like very, very communicative and supportive, and they're obviously building. It's all early, but you know, it's because it's on Ethereum, it's gonna be expensive. I mean, at the moment it's okay, but you know, there will be a time when shit gets busy again, and you know, but again, long term, like next year, you know, with L2 and that stuff, hopefully, you know, it won't be as expensive. But I think, you know, I mean, the options are very, very limited at the moment when it comes to music and releasing music on a chain. But there are also other chains. I'm sure that like on the other chains where minting is a, you know, a fraction of what it is on Ethereum, maybe, you know, I didn't find much on other chains yet, music related. I'm sure soon on, you know, more on, I don't know. I mean, who knows? Like, it's all like future talk. At the moment, Ethereum is the one. And I guess with audios on Solana, that's the only option you have. And then, you know, catalog, OpenZora. I think on OpenZora you can mint anything. But basically catalog is OpenZora, but just for music, and they're like well connected as well. And then yeah, I guess you can also mint stuff in Decentral Games, if I'm not wrong. I mean, you
No,
could probably do an
we
NFT
use the,
with like
other platforms. We don't have our own quite yet.
yeah. So, you know, I guess yeah, it's just like
Definitely
Yeah.
hard, like that, especially when you, because I feel like you get it because you make it. You know how to do wear the different hats within music creation. So I feel like when you have that process down packed, and it's just a matter of rolling it out, then that's where that bottleneck is with the technology to support the massive worlds that can be just put out for people. So my workaround for that is these EPs. So maybe I would just have to dedicate, you know, like a good, let's say from January to March, release 1 or 2 massive
I think
EPs and just
so.
mint that. You know?
Yeah, I think so. I'm a fan of like cohesive work as well, where it's like you have this one idea and you put it in an EP. You know, I don't want to sound weird, but it can be quite overwhelming. Like even me, like when it comes to my album, like for myself, I think, you know, I don't know, 14 tracks is like max for an album, even though I have more, but it's just like people, you know how it is, like, you know, when it
Getting
comes
across an idea, it's a vibe. So you need I get it.
more about like constantly doing it rather than you know, having like 200 tracks at once. I remember like Aphex Twin dumped 200 tracks on SoundCloud.
Jesus
And
Christ.
yeah, I mean, it took me days to get through it. And you were able to download them still. You might be, because he had like all these like different uh portfolios on SoundCloud with like just like numbers and codes and stuff. But
Mm.
because I'm like, you know, a huge fan, so I was like digging it. And it was just overwhelming. I mean, listen to 200 Aphex Tune, you know, tracks like in a row is impossible. Like your brain can't even process. So, you know, just go with the ones that you really feel super comfortable, like the ones you want to play everybody in the room. Like that's a good sign. Like when you just can't wait to show that track to your friends, that's always a good sign to be like, this is the one you should probably put out. Doesn't matter if anybody likes it, but if you dig it and if it's the shit you love, that's
Yeah,
the
other
one you
people
should put
agree
out.
with you.
Yeah, don't ever think about would they like it. Like if you start thinking about what the people will like, then you'll never put out anything.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I've been making music for like 11 years now, so I don't give a
Oh
fuck
yeah,
anymore. I don't care
yeah,
anymore. It's just like literally
great.
about that, you know, like the conveying the message, which is why I like putting out EPs. Like I have an EP that's literally soca. It's I speak Japanese, so I put that in there, like dance hall, trap, and that's one vibe. And then another EP may be rap infused with like metal and like moombahton, and another, you know. So I put them together. Like,
Mhm.
guess I could just compress
That's
that and
fine.
focus on the songs that are like the representation of each of those vibes, I guess, you know?
Yeah, I think that's a decision you have to make in the end. Again, I think it's really about that feeling you have, you know. And if you think that the Japanese with the ska, whatever, reggae and techno all in one, that's cool. Then do it, because I'm the same. Like on you know, when I release music, it can be one track can be, you know, techno, one can be a house, one can be down tempo. It doesn't it's really about what you feel. And then yeah, just yeah,
Yeah,
do
cool. I
it.
appreciate that insight.
Yeah.
I'd definitely love to hear some more, you know, some new stuff from you as well.
It's coming.
Thanks
Well,
for
we're
Like,
doing the
coming in,
yeah,
release
man.
party on Decentral Games, so that's my new single. That one's coming. It's like a
perfect.
actually it's like a
Heated.
double. Yeah, it's like a double kind of single. So there's two tracks coming at the same time.
Oh, yeah, I'm looking forward to that one. Appreciate y'all.
Thanks,
Nice
man.
one.
All right, man. We
I
got
got 5 minutes left, guys.
5 minutes. So, is there anything that you want to cover or announce before we close up today?
I'm chilling. I think, you know, there's been a lot of information. Um, I'm very open to any questions you guys have. If there's anything left, I'm happy to answer it. I'm very happy to be here and you know, um, discovering the metaverse with you and, you know, partying with you there and creating some art in that space. Yeah, I'm really grateful that this exists now. I'm so excited and so like it gives me that juice where I was like a year ago, you know, my friends tell no, I'm like, I just don't want to release. Like, it's just no fun releasing art and music right now. It's just the same thing over and over. It bores me you know, yeah, it's just so boring. And so I'm so happy to see that
A new outlet,
there are,
some new way to express.
yeah, exactly.
So actually, I saw a couple questions from the chat real quick. Dorian was asking, are you going to be doing another Tomorrowland set? And would you do Tomorrowland set in Decentraland?
Hell yeah, man. I'm ready for it. That's more up to Tomorrowland, but I'm down. I'm down for it. There
Nice.
will definitely be more sets in the metaverse as well.
All right, Dorian, get it set up. We'll do it. Awesome.
You should check out the Tomorrowland set I've done for them in the it was like a big green screen, you know, like that was sort of metaverse actually.
Oh, that's cool.
But it's also up on the, you know, iTunes and shit.
Nice.
YouTube.
All right, looks like we got one more question. Daft Remo. come on up.
Ja, sehr geil. Hello, hello.
Hi, German.
Yes, I'm the stalker
That's
from the
good.
last place.
Nice.
Question is, do you have a favorite band at the moment or a favorite artist?
Oh, good question. Let's see. It's hard. Um, there's a lot that I just don't never save any names because I'm like I look for new music every day. Especially being a DJ, I'm trying to like impress everybody with what I play and be like, where did he find this? Like, what is this? And all that stuff. So I have to always be like one step ahead. But it's natural for me too because I just love record shopping and record digging and spending endless hours looking for new music. But that also meant now over time that I can't remember a single name. It's really terrible, I have to say. So, there is a lot of stuff, but I have to like go into my libraries and see what I just bought or whatever I just I usually, again, because I'm DJing, I buy music, I buy a vinyl and I buy MP3 still. Um and not so much streaming, but I just saw this, I don't know, this is so random. This is this rapper I just saw called Blady. I'm sure probably everybody knows him already, but this was kind of fresh. I thought it's like a Swedish kid. Um kind of like the next level little Uzi Vert style. Like I like that. That was sounding fresh to me. And then bands. It's hard with bands. I mean,
My favorite band at the moment is L'Imperatrice. I hope I spell it right.
I don't know
It's a French band.
okay.
They make a single with Meat from Ed Banger,
Oh, word. Okay.
and they have a really fresh new sound. It's really good.
Cool. I'll check it
You know,
out.
to chill, to relax. Yeah,
How you call them again?
L'Imperatrice,
Okay.
die Kaiserin. I don't know how to spell it right.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, there's the singer from former Late of the Pier has a project called LA Priest. I like that. That's kind of indie band-ish. But that's it. I'm sorry, I don't have too many names right now.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah,
tough
that's
one.
okay.
Thank you.
Okay,
Awesome.
thank you.
Nice
See you.
one.
Bye.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that brings us to the top of the hour. I just wanted to say thank you so much, Alex, for coming on and talking with us today. It's been amazing. It's so much fun. Thank you all for coming out from the community. You guys make this happen. And we have
Yeah.
the casino night starting right now. So, Alex,
We're gonna do some fun stuff on my Discord too. So if you like, get in there. We should probably jump back on the Twitches and all that shit and Metaverse with you first. But there's gonna happen more in my Discord as well. So if you're interested in getting involved, make sure to be in there as well.
Excellent. Yeah, and you feel free to drop the Discord in the chat whenever you'd like.
Right. So how do I do that?
I can show you off the call if you need.
We'll do it later.
Yeah, sounds good.
Nice one.
Awesome.
Thank you everybody for listening. Thank you for being there, and I'll see you at the event.
Sounds awesome. Thank you so much. Everybody have a great day.
Thank you. Bye bye.